96.7 KCAL rocks. It's a big sports day. That's why we're talking to our guy, Pep. What's going on, Pep?
Man, you know what? Coming off a huge game for the Dodgers, a winner take all, just one game, a wild card game. The winner advances between the Cardinals and the Dodgers last night. Again, just one game to decide who advances, and the Dodgers win it in dramatic fashion. 3-1, bottom of the ninth. Chris Taylor, walk-off bomb for the Dodgers to win it. And now, guys, we get that dream matchup. We're going to see a playoff series between the Dodgers and the Giants. Postseason baseball at its best.
Yep, we get to see that matchup. I mean, I thought for sure the Cardinals it was going their way. I was like, this is exactly what they want to do. Just hang around and then try to just eliminate the Dodgers. And then all of a sudden, surprise, bottom of the ninth. And it shortened my night a little bit. We got to get to bed, Pep.
I kept trying to care about that game, but every time I looked at the app to look at the score, 1-1. A couple hours. It felt like a couple hours later looking 1-1.
Yeah.
A couple more hours later, 1-1.
And they were lucky to have that score. Max Scherzer wasn't playing great. The Dodgers weren't playing great.
No, but you know what? That's typical playoff baseball. You throw two dominant starters against each other where, runs are at a premium. You're not going to score a lot of runs. In fact, I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock last night, and I'm like, oh, that game's probably over. Boom. No, it wasn't. 1-1, ninth inning. I'm like, oh, this is what it's all about. I got here just in time. I'm going to turn it on, and just in time to see Chris Taylor hit that bomb to walk it off for the Dodgers. But now we get the Giants against the Dodgers, two best teams in all of baseball, at least record-wise during the regular season, and they'll play a 5-game series starting Friday in San Francisco.
Ooh, two teams that probably hate each other the most, too. So here we go.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. We knew the two best teams were in the National League West. We thought it was going to be the Padres, who actually just fired their coach, so they're going to kind of retool some things to try to, catch the Giants and catch the Dodgers next season. But for right now, yeah, the Dodgers and the Giants going head-to-head in the playoffs. And, again, bitter rivals in this 5-game divisional series. We also have the Braves against the Brewers in the National League. Over the American League, it's going to be the White Sox against the Astros. And the Rays will take on the Red Sox as Boston beat the Yankees in their wild card game in the American League. So those are your matchups right now. Two of those teams will make it to the World Series this year. Guys, Thursday Night Football. It's a juicy one. What else can I say?
Yeah.
In the NFC West, I love the NFC West. It's going to be the Rams on the road at the Seahawks. And I know everyone's looking up at the Arizona Cardinals right now. And it's very early in the football season. But to be this early, this is kind of a very important game this early in the year between the Rams and the Seahawks.
We could definitely see this one being really tight. I mean, the Rams are coming off the loss, so they're unhappy about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Seattle, so that's good for the Seahawks. One of the things I'm definitely nervous about is obviously Stafford can throw the moon ball, you know what I mean, just like Russell Wilson, but maybe even further. And the Seahawks are weak at cornerback, so I think we are susceptible to the long bomb, and I'm afraid of Stafford hitting old Deshaun behind everybody.
Yeah, Stafford, he's legit, and we've found out. We've got a small sample size of a couple games, but he is legit. Guys, and speaking of quarterbacks in the NFC West, I don't know if you heard this, but Rams general manager Les Snead, they were joking around about all the great QBs in the NFC West, and he said, Kyler Murray for the Cardinals and Russell Wilson for the Seahawks, they're both great baseball players. Why don't they just leave football and go follow those baseball careers? This would be the perfect time. Of course, he was joking because they're going to be around for a long time, and the Rams are going to have their hands full with both those teams. And if Trey Lance, pans out with the 49ers, dude, these are great young quarterbacks. I know Russell Wilson's a little bit older, but these are a couple great young quarterbacks that are going to be around for a long, long time, which is going to make the NFC West big trouble for years to come.
I don't know why he's nervous because Aaron Donald freaking kills Russell Wilson.
I mean, if you're in that division, you do anything you could to get some of that competition out as well.
Yes.
But you know what? Usually they throw like a clunker of a Thursday night football game at us, right? It's like, oh man, we got Jaguars and Bengals. Great. But no, tonight we actually got a really good one with Rams and Seahawks.
It really was just known as like the dud of the week, and now it's turning into one of the best games of the week.
And it is split right down the middle when you look at the online predictor. Both sides, 49.8%. Like, nobody knows who's going to win this. The Rams are completely healthy. Seattle's got a couple of injuries. I don't think we know if Chris Carson's going to go yet or not tonight. Yeah. I think we're waiting to find that one out.
Yeah, it's going to be trouble, you guys.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Like, I know Arizona's the only undefeated team in the NFL right now, but I bet you in like 4 or 5 weeks, things might look totally different just because that's how competitive it is right now. Arizona might be, 5-3, and the Rams, they might have the same record. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, yeah, Arizona's undefeated right now, but just give it a couple weeks because it's going to be so tight in the NFC West and teams are so good that it's like a meat grinder. I think they're just going to kind of beat each other up all season long.
That's the beauty. We'll see what happens.
All right, we also have the 49ers against the Cardinals, so it's like an all-division weekend. 49ers, right. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks. And again, I feel like every game is just magnified because all these teams are so good that even a little bit of separation might do the trick, but we'll see in the NFC West at least. In the AFC West, the Chargers, huge win against the Raiders to give Las Vegas their first loss of the season. Now they've got the Browns at home in Los Angeles. And we got the Raiders taking on Justin Fields and the Bears. And guys, from what I heard, Justin Fields is now QB1. He is the starting quarterback going forward for the Chicago Bears. And that's who the Raiders will see.
Matt Nagy has finally made the decision. He's finally stopped all the press conferences because he's just going to get peppered with questions. He's QB1, Justin Fields.
Just whether that's a good decision or not is what remains to be seen.
I think maybe just get the growing pains over with now.
Yeah, you might as well, right? You've got that guy, and, if you're losing with Dalton, people say, we told you so. And if you lose with Fields, you can be like, hey, at least I did what everyone was clamoring for. Everyone was calling for Justin Fields to get in there. I did it, and we still didn't win. But maybe he'll turn things around. He kind of reminds me of Kyler Murray. I mean, maybe he's going to, ignite something. He didn't look great so far, but maybe he'll ignite something with the Chicago Bears who desperately need some offense. And if you go up against the Raiders are going to score points. They're going to do it. They're going to do it with Derek Carr. They're going to score points. So can the Bears hang with them?
I would think the Raiders win this one easy.
Yesterday was even a weird day in the NFL, too, with Jalen Smith and Stephon Gilmore both being available for new teams. Like Gilmore was eventually traded. Yeah. They kind of said they were going to release him, which I think opened it up for all the teams to be like, well, we'll trade for him before you release him. He goes to Carolina for a 6th-round pick.
Right.
And then Jalen Smith signs with the Green Bay Packers.
I think those are big pickups.
Yeah, Gilmore, you can make a case he's the best DB in the league. I mean, it was just so weird. And Bill Belichick, in total Bill Belichick style, super vague about, why they got rid of him, like, right now. Right. Like, it just didn't make any sense, just best, perfect timing, best move for the team right now. Like, what does that mean? Like, best move? Like, what was going on that you wanted to get rid of what you're like, probably your best player on the roster?
They've been dealing with him and trying to get a contract extension for a couple of years now. It hasn't been successful. I think that was kind of the catalyst to this whole thing.
So they're like, okay, move on.
Yeah. Guys, real quick, in the college ranks, we talk a lot about UCLA and USC here, but I just wanted to point out Stanford coming off that huge win against number 3 Oregon the previous week. Stanford will go head-to-head against Arizona State on Friday night. So that's Tanner McKee, Centennial High School, quarterback for the Cardinal, going up against Jaden Daniels from Cajon High School, now the starting quarterback at Arizona State. So 2 local guys, starting QBs in the Pac-12, going head-to-head Friday night. And what's a very important Pac-12 football game now because Stanford beating Oregon really threw a wrench into a lot of things.
Right.
2 IE kids at the quarterbacks. That's so cool. Can't wait to see it.
Man, they're doing it. They're doing it. And finally, this is kind of a bizarre story. Kanye West, I know Kanye is not something you guys would play here on KCAL Rocks, but Kanye West, the rapper and mogul, is starting a prep academy. So it's out in the Los Angeles area near Simi Valley. It's going to be called Donda Academy, like after his album. And what he's doing is he wants to form a high school basketball powerhouse to compete with the likes of Bronny James that goes to Sierra Canyon. And guys, from what I've been reading, he already has some of the top recruits in the country that have committed to play for his academy in Simi Valley. And he wants to be the best high school basketball team, in the nation.
So he's just going to have a pop-up high school?
I mean, are they the top recruits at basketball? That we confirmed that? I mean, just top recruits. Not saying much. They could be at anything, bro. Kanye.
Yeah, apparently, it's these five-star high school basketball kids, and apparently Kanye is sending them DMs on like Instagram and Twitter, like contacting them directly, like, "Hey, yo, it's your boy Kanye. Why don't you come play high school basketball for me?"
but he's going to name it after his album. This sounds like it's going to go down. LeBron's is it's real.
I mean, Kanye West DMing teenagers, probably not a good sign.
Oh my goodness. That is sports and music colliding right there.
Yeah, it is. So we'll see how that pans out.
Pat, time out to get your stuff.
It's Inland Sports. We don't talk a lot about Kanye, but we do talk high school football. That's Inland Sports social media, the Inland Sports YouTube channel. You can check it out yourself.
Thanks, Pat.